I can tell you for sure is that most of them are actually really good, and you can only name a few who are not that level at all. Why all of these different cards have different abilities, and that's what makes them special. Most times, stats can't really show how good they are because Konami made all of them differently. Be it their shooting technique, their positioning, there is just something different about all of them. That's why I've taken my time to group these cards into 7 different levels, and all you have to do is watch to the end, and maybe you can find your favorite player in there. The first level of an eFootball card is what I'll love to call the zero output. If you know a lot about my old videos, you will definitely understand why I don't like this level of eFootball cards, because all they seem to do is just run around the field dribbling, and sometimes can't even make a simple pass or finish off a simple shot. An example of this archetype of player is none other than Denilson. A lot of people think I have a personal beef with this guy, but a lot of you all don't know I actually don't have any issues with him as a person. I just think his in-game card is bad and shouldn't exist in the first place. Because tell me one reason why this guy's an epic card. Because of some fancy dribbles? He is one of those cards I'll always see in Instagram highlight reels and be like, ooh, this card is really amazing. Meanwhile, in-game, he is just something else. A lot of people would actually say he is good, and I should use him to create space for others, forgetting that most of his other stats, aside from his speed and dribbling, are just next to nothing. Also, I still don't understand why he is a cross specialist, but somehow doesn't have pinpoint crossing. Something you can only ask Denilson himself. However, I don't think he is as bad as I make him to be. I just think Konami could have done a little more with his stats. Another card I'd love to mention is none other than Alan Saint-Maximin. Not until recently did Konami release a goal poacher version of this card, and that's the highest finishing stats I've ever seen of him. If you don't know this guy, then maybe you don't do enough scrolling on social media, because if you actually do, you would know exactly why I mentioned him. Honestly, if you have used him even once, you will know how rapid he is and moves past defenders like they do not even exist. However, just like Denilson, he most times fluffs whenever it's time to score or assist. Although I do think his end product is much more than Denilson's own, it's just kind of sad that if they had better end product, they would have been much better. Also, recently there was a video trending online of Chelsea's João Pedro and West Ham's Adama Traore. The muscular guy you see in this video is just like Denilson and Saint, but this time much stronger. Trust me, there is no eFootball defender who can win this guy in a physical contact challenge. And like I said, all they do is foreplay and zero penetration. The second level of an eFootball card is what I will call the above average cards. These cards sometimes have epic cards or Showtime versions of themselves that are among the elite cards in the game. But if you are a free-to-play player, you would have probably used their free cards in the past. And a player I would love to mention is William Saliba. A lot of pro players have definitely mentioned Saliba as their favorite center back, and that's for those who have a Showtime version of him. But as for those who use his free card, you can definitely tell how good this guy is. The way he chases down opposition strikers is similar to what he does in real life, and most times wins most of his ground duels, unlike any other eFootball defender. Konami has released so many free versions of this guy, so if you have him, then you should probably grab him. However, there is a reason why I don't rate Saliba among the elites, and it's mainly because of his aerial abilities. His height sometimes covers up for this, and he even has a recent aerial fork card which is really good, but most times can't really handle aerial duels. Well, now the good thing is that not everybody's a cross spammer, so it's also something that can be overlooked. And that's why most pro players still use him. However, if you come up against cross spammers, then maybe a better aerial option should be used. Another card has got to be Nomination Chouameni. This guy is really good, and just like Saliba, most of his free cards can get the job done at the highest level. He has an insane player ID, which is why he has really good leg coverage and lets him intercept passes from the opposition at a high level. However, why I prefer Vieira and other anchorman DMFs is their positioning, which most times his long legs usually make up for. But Yaya Touré and Vieira most times know how to position themselves at the right place. As for Chouameni, he leaves wide spaces sometimes. Yes, and that's the difference between above average and elite. However, he has a Showtime card released recently, so I guess it should be much better than the current card. As of now, those are the two cards I can really think of, and you can feel free to add yours in the comment section. Dennis Zakaria is another name who I strongly believe should be in the list, and also, like the rest, has a Meta Showtime card. The third level of an eFootball card is what I'll love to call the specialist, and the cover tells you all you need to know. These are players who were trained to be really good at one particular thing, which means they will have to sacrifice their abilities in other aspects of their game, or are just so good at one aspect of the game and average in the others. The first card I'll love to mention is Takahiro Tomiyasu. I am sure a lot of my subscribers who are new to the game won't know a thing about this guy, but don't worry, I am here to explain. If you don't know this guy, he used to play for Arsenal as a right back or center back, but unfortunately injuries made his career not much of a thing to talk about. His eFootball card is genuinely insane, and I can tell you for a fact that there are not more than 5 defenders in this game who can defend better than him. His card is actually originally a right back with the defensive fullback playstyle, but for some reason, people figured out he is really good as a center back and instead gave all his progression points to his defending and aerial stats. I've used him so many times and can definitely tell you that in terms of defending, he is definitely one of the best. Another card I'll love to mention is none other than Jan Koller. If cross spamming was not a thing, or crosses didn't exist in the game, I can bet there are not so many people who will use Koller in their team, as his other aspects of the game are just not it. Some people might want to argue that they can use him as a normal CF, but all of them who use Koller in their squad end up spamming crosses to him all game, which to me is quite interesting. Some can even argue he is elite, but personally to me, you can't be elite when all your opponent sees whenever they come up against you as crosses, and that's not a style of play I personally enjoy. Just like how everyone hates Arsenal corners, most people hate cross spammers. However, it's not something that is illegal, and it is also a style of play which doesn't seem interesting or aesthetically pleasing at all. But what can we do? We just have to deal with it. Trust me, similar to these two guys I mentioned, there are so many specialists in the game right now, and you can mention the ones you know in the comments below. The fourth level of eFootball cards I'll love to mention is the shot stoppers. I think the previous updates of the game have seen a massive upgrade in how goalkeepers actually matter. There used to be a time in eFootball when I did not give a single care about which goalkeeper I was going to use in my team. But to be honest, those times have changed. Not having a good goalkeeper could be the difference between winning, drawing, or losing in a football match. Whenever the word goalkeeper is mentioned, there are certain players that come to everyone's mind. The best shot stopper in a football has got to be Peter Schmeichel, and it's not even a debate. Just like I said a few words ago, a lot of eFootball goalkeepers are really good and make great saves, but there is something so different about how this guy moves. You need to shoot the ball really well to beat him, and he saves close-range curlers, which is just insane. You don't need any custom progression to get him functioning, and he is the most consistent goalkeeper I've used in this game. Like I said, your shot has to be really good to beat him, be it from close range or from a far distance. Another card I'll love to mention is Real Madrid shot stopper Thibaut Courtois. You could actually say that Schmeichel is better, which is for a fact true, even though other epic goalkeepers like Buffon, Cech, and so many more might have a better save percentage than him. For some reason, the weirdest saves I have seen on the internet have been from this guy. Since most people have access to his free-to-play card, you will need to pray he is not informed the day you come up against him. Because trust me, he is going to make some serious saves against you. Also, his long arms compared to other goalkeepers help him make these saves, one of the most meta cards in the game. Like I said, other epic goalkeepers are really good cards, but for some reason, these two are my personal favorites. The fifth level of eFootball cards has definitely got to be the utility players. If you don't know what this means, utility players are players that can play multiple positions, and not just that, they do it at a very high level. These cards are the ones that you should have in your team in case any of your players are not in form. Then you can definitely use them, even if it's just for that game. Actually, players like Gullit, Mbappe, and Messi should be in the list, but they are actually at a higher level, and I would love to mention other cards in this list instead. One card that I'll mention is definitely Atletico Madrid's Marcos Llorente. This is definitely one of the best utility cards the game has ever seen because you can find so many of his Player of the Week cards or even featured cards that are all compatible in multiple positions. Even though he is not the best around, all his stats seem to be green because he does so many things, right, to a really good extent. He is definitely one of the best utility cards in the game. Now, I need you to take a look at an even better Showtime card, which is Dusan Tadic. This card can play everywhere across the front line and even on the wings, which is insane. Also, this particular Showtime card is one I personally have not used in the game and would definitely love to have him in my team. Kuna is also a really good example, and I've always loved using his Blitz Curler card as I think it is really broken. Anyways, let's move on to the next level of cards. The 6th level of eFootball cards are the Elite cards. Now this is where it gets interesting, because to be honest, there are so many of them, and these cards will always be much superior to the other levels, no matter what you think. However, there are a few of them I'll love to mention in this video. The first has got to be Marcus Thuram. This is probably the most used defender in the game, and there is a reason why. Thuram is the most complete defender in the game, and it's not even arguable. The craziest fact is that you don't need to retrain him or remove any of his stats to make him better because he has everything you need in an eFootball defender. Also, he is one of the hardest players to get past. He might even be the hardest I've ever used in the game or come up against, and it's not even close. Genuinely one of the best cards in the game. Another card I'll love to mention is Michel Platini. When I saw this guy's stats, I was genuinely surprised because I actually didn't expect it. For me, he is the best attacking midfielder, and a lot of people might argue that it's Cruyff, which is actually a good match. But for me, nobody comes close to Platini, and this is coming from someone who has faced him so many times. Also, I think Zico is also a really good match, and some might even say Zico is better, but for me, Platini is the best I've used in the game in the attacking midfielder position. Another card has got to be Patrick Vieira. Like I said previously, I don't think anybody comes close to Vieira in terms of protecting the backline. You can argue all you want, but for me, he is one of the best DMFs in the game. Also, another generational player I definitely can't ignore is Pirlo, who is the most complete DMF in the game. He is genuinely top 3 players in the game because he doesn't seem to lack anything you need in a midfielder. He is also the best at distributing passes from deep and has really good shooting for a defensive midfielder. Crazy card. The thing is, I can go on and on about the elite cards, and honestly, I can't mention all of them in the video. Big time Cristiano, Messi, Rio Ferdinand, Philipp Lahm, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. These are just some of the many names that are among the elite cards in the game. Now, the 7th level everyone has obviously been waiting for is none other than the unstoppable Ruud Gullit. I am sure most of you would agree with me, but for those of you that have doubts as to why I rate him as the best card in the game, it's simply because he can be retrained to do anything you want except goalkeeping. He can be trained to defend, attack, control the game tempo, score goals, cross spam, literally everything you want an eFootball player to do. That's why, for me, he is the most valuable card in the game. And I hate coming up against him because he always makes it hard for me to defend against him. And most times will find a way to pierce your net. That's why he is unstoppable. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is just my personal opinion, and you are free to make your own list. Also, since I don't earn from YouTube for now, this is the last video I'll be uploading this month. How do you rank these players? Don't forget to subscribe.
Yo, 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 yo.